What is going on, guys? There's here, and welcome to a new tutorial. Halloween is coming up, so we gotta do something. And I'm gonna teach you how to make any picture of your friend or yourself or a portrait into kind of a demonic kind of look here. So besides the eyes and the background and stuff like that, everything else is optional. Like the hair, you can leave it whatever color you want. You can choose to add or remove the magic symbol on his forehead. This is just ideas, you can add the symbol just as good on his chest or wherever you feel like it. But I'm going to teach you how to at least do the background, the color correction, some lighting here and there so it looks realistic, and also the hair strands and stuff like that. Really neat tricks, and yeah, let's hop in the tutorial. So I'm just gonna remove everything. Let me just group them. Let me see here. Group. I'm just going to make a copy of him and just put him on top so we have something to work on. There's tons, hundreds if not more tutorials on how to remove backgrounds and just leave your subjects here. Let's see some color correction and stuff like that. So the first thing that we need to do is to add a background. So grab any splatter brushes you can find. If you want the specific splatter brushes that I'm going to use, then check the description. I'm going to link you to them. So I have these awesome splatter brushes here, and I'm going to have my background layer here, name it background so you know which one is which. And I'm gonna call this guy, I've been using a lot of females in my tutorial, so I think it's nice for a change to use some guy. So make a new layer on top of the background. Make sure your background is kind of a dark color, so gray, dark gray, that should do. And on the layer here, we're gonna call this splatter. We're going to need some texture in the background. Now this is where you choose your colors. So I'm going to go with a neon green. I'm not going to choose neon green right away because it's going to change the neon green in the future. So I'm going to select this green here, which is CMYK green. Okay, everybody has this in Photoshop, so don't worry about it. Now I'm just going to click in the background, just adding some texture. Let me change the size a bit because this is a bit too big. So we got some more details there. And make sure to leave the top uncovered. So you can splatter to about 90% of the canvas in the background, but the rest just leave it like that. So now you see you have these dark areas here. So I'm just gonna hold Alt and click on that dark area, and I can pick that color. Now I'm just going to click again with the splatter, so we got some dark tones over there too. Just keep clicking, and let me change the brush so we have some variation. Let me check this one out, and that looks cool. Now let me pick a darker green. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sample the darkest green I can find, which is this one here, and I'm going to go here in my color picker and just put the lighting just a bit darker here and just start clicking. So we got some shadows going on there. There we go. And oops, I don't like that right on top of my splatters. So now I'm going to grab some lighter green. So I'm going to sample the lightest green I can find and kind of move this color back to a more intense green, more saturated. So I'm just going to pick this one here, and I'm going to click and splatter in the background just like that. Just not too much, just a bit so that we got some texture in the background. And maybe choose a darker gray this time, but I can also change the background directly. So if I go to my background, select my bucket tool, paint bucket tool, I can just pick a darker tone, and I like that. I'm going to leave this one. So we got the guy, we got the splatter background, and we got our background layer. That's easy enough. Let's add some color correction to the guy. So I'm going to go to let me see here, gradient map. Add a gradient map, and then right click on a gradient map and create a clipping mask. So we're going to need a dual tone gradient here. So for example, select this first one here, this black and white one. Everybody has that, right? And if you click on this color here on this square here, you can change the colors. So I'm gonna pick this one here. This is what we're going for. So the first color that you're going to use is 090909. So type that into your text box here and it will apply to the gradient. And now on the other side, on this box here, is 666 666, which it fits, you know, because of the demonic theme. I thought it was pretty cute. So we're gonna leave that on the guy. Now what you're going to do is add more adjustments. We're going to add some curves and create a clipping mask with the curves and kind of play around. So we got darker and lighter tones popping up. So make sort of like an S, just like a tiny little S thingy, like a snake. Now we're gonna add a levels layer. Right click and create clipping mask. Levels allows you to play around with the darker tones and the lighter tones. So what I like to do in the case here, you know, of this guy, I'm going to just drop this down here, this white one. So see, it makes it darker basically. You can go full on silhouette if you want to, but nah, don't do that. Okay, so see how the guy's darker now, and now I can adjust the tones here, just like that. And I can put some highlights here and even make stuff darker, just like that. So we got the guy, he's pretty dark right now. We need to add some skin color or some blue tone to it. So click here on your adjustment thingy and add a color balance, and you're going to create a clipping mask with it too. So we have the midtones here. This is where you want to be. So the midtones, you're going to put the cyan to the left a bit and play around with the rest. You know, you can add a bit of green inside, a little blue from the yellows, just like that. So what I have right now is -17, +3, and +6 with preserved luminosity on. So now that our guy is basically finished for the color correction area, we're going to play around with his eyes and make it look demonic and stuff like that. So what we're going to do, we're going to make a new layer, right click and create a clipping mask and call this eyes. And now I'm going to hide all of the effects so I can better see his eyes here. I'm just going to zoom in. So while on the eyes layer, just grab I don't know, your elliptical marquee tool. There's a bunch of things you can do. You can paint with the tablet. You can use the elliptical marquee tool. So I'm just going to use this one. You don't have to. It's not really necessary. So I'm just going to hold shift and drag to make a circular selection. Select neon green and put it inside. And now I'm just going to make a copy of this and then right click, create clipping mask. Click on lock transparent pixel, which is that box there, and make sure to sample the color, the darkest color from his eye. So it's that black there. I'm going to select my brush tool and hold Alt and click there so I can sample it. And you're going to just brush inside right now. So you will fill that circle with that dark color. And now press Ctrl and T on the keyboard. Hold Shift and drag and Alt together. So Shift, Alt, and drag, so you can put that in the center. So here we got our eye, but it's ridiculously big right now. So you can actually remove the section, the black section of the eye. Simply hold Control and click on the thumbnail of the eyes copy and the darker one, you know. Now click back on the eyes, the first eyes that you made, the one with the neon, and press delete. And now deselect. So now I can also just remove this and we can see through the eye. So now we got our contact lens, so to say, and we're going to convert it to a smart object. Press Ctrl T and align it with the eye. So just move it there and kind of align it with the eye a bit. There we go. If you hold Control and click on and drag the corner, you can control the motion, you know, you can control the perspective, the angle, etc. So I'm just going to make something like this and press enter. So now the eye isn't finished. We have to add a mask to it. So if you click on this add mask, add vector mask, we can erase, but non-destructively erase what we don't need. So I'm going to go to my brush tool, whatever that is. There we go, this one here. And with a soft brush, hardness 50% and size whatever you need, you know, for this canvas. Gonna go here and kind of brush off the top of the eye and the bottom just a bit so that it blends in better. And there's some problems going on here on the sides. I'm going to erase those too, just so to make the eye a bit smoother. There we go, just like that. Alright, so what you can do, yeah, it's a bit weird right now. So see, for example, right now I erased the part that I didn't want from the eye. This is why we added a mask, because I'm using black right now to erase. But if I press X and it switches to white, I can pull back what I lost. So I'm just going to pull back some of the eye here, some of the eye here, and there we go, a bit on top. So now the eye looks normal again, which is what we want. Well, normal. No one has neon eyes. Now you can make a copy of it, yeah? And you can right click and create a clipping mask. And now press Control, move it, and make it a bit bigger. There we go. Press Enter. So now I'm just going to zoom in, and since we have some few areas that are not being covered, we're going to press our brush tool here. And with white, sorry, you're going to put back some of the eye, just like that. This is why we use masks non-destructively. So we got his neon eyes. He looks ready to kill someone. And the next step is to just simply put the effects back, and then just makes it look really good. And as for the hair, really cool trick. You can, let me just hide all of the effects right now. Select the guy, grab your lasso tool, and select the general hair area. There we go. So I copied his hair right now by pressing Control and C on the keyboard, going on top of everything and pressing Control V. So now I got a copy of his hairdo. So I'm just gonna move it in place. Now I'm going to right click and create a clipping mask, press Control and click on your selection on your hair, and now go to select and then color range. So now we have only the hair selected. So you're gonna have to click on the plus here, the one with the plus, and you can pick the fuzziness, make it a bit lower, 23, maybe even more. And you can pick whichever colors you want, and since we have the plus here, it's going to add to whatever it's already selected. So let me see here. Okay, this color here, this brighter one seems to be predominant, so that's good. You can also select the reds, for example, if you want to. It selects a pretty decent area, or the yellows. But I kind of like the ones that I sampled. So it's going to select the strands. Just click on the strands and it's going to select them. Now what you're going to do is simply press Control C and Control V to copy and paste the hair strands. You can delete his hairdo afterwards. So let me show you. See, we have the hair strands here, just the strands, which is what we want. Now right click, create clipping mask, and show all the layers back. So we can see that we selected just the strands, just the highlights that we wanted. Now I can just press my eraser tool and kind of erase. It doesn't really matter right now with the strands. You can also add a mask. Let's add a mask, non-destructive editing. That's what we want. So add a mask, hardness 0% on your brush, size whatever fits your image, and click on the mask. And with black, just put out whatever you don't need in the hair. So I don't really want that much going on around here. On top, on top is good. Okay, so what you want to do now is click on the thumbnail, so you don't have the mask selected, and press Control and U on the keyboard. Click on colorize, and if your hair is black, click on colorize. If your hair is orange, click on colorize. If your hair is blue, click on colorize, and this will change the color of your hair. Increase the saturation, and don't touch maybe lower the lightness a bit. No, don't touch it. Just leave the lightness as it is at 0 or -1, doesn't matter. And you can change the color to the green that you want it. You can change the color to whatever you want. You can make it purple, blue, whatever you wish. You can make yourself the Joker. So now we have the green selected. This is exactly the green that we're using. And press OK. And now we can play around with the blending modes in Photoshop. So I don't know. Let me test. Let me see here. What can we do here? Oh, okay. Color dodge works perfectly. Let me just lower the opacity, but I don't want it too extreme. So 57% on color dodge. That's what I'm using. The next step is to add more splashes. Splashes are nice. I like to add them. So make a new layer on top. Call this splashes front, because these are the splashes in the front. Now with the splashes in the front, you're going to pick some dark colors. So I'm going to select my splashes here. Let me see where I can find it. There we go. And I'm going to, let me just make the size a bit smaller, because this brush is ridiculously big. 1.8, no, 1.5 maybe. I think it's good. 1.512, that's good. And you're going to select the darks from your subject. So let me see here. This is like the darkest areas, I think. And I don't think it's completely pitch black. And go zoom out and, you know, just click around with your brush. So you're kind of making this splattery bottom here. So I'm going to change the brush to another one to add more effects and kind of make this dark corrupted aura to the guy, which is what we wanted. Now going to the background, we have the splatter in the background, you know, make a new layer on top, call it splatter 2. So we're going to add these in the background too. There we go. Whip just like that. There we go. I'm gonna select another brush again and kind of switch, you know, so you have some variation. 1500 should do. There we go, in my case. So in your case it could be anything really. There we go. So we have this dark aura to the guy. Now, as I said before, you can choose to add whatever elements you want to. The magic circle, for example. I'm gonna skip it this time because it's really easy to do. You just draw some sort of shape and add an outer glow in white. That's it. The splatter here on the guy, this is annoying me because there's this coffee stain here from the splatter brush. So I'm just gonna remove that with my eraser tool. Let me see here, smaller size, just like that. Okay, I like that, but I kind of want some more over the chest, so I'm gonna grab my brush tool and kind of see if I can get some more details inside there. What is this brush? Let me see here. Oh, this looks nice. I like this one. This is more grungy, and let me see if I can add some more detail. I don't know. It's kind of a weird one. There you go. Let me rotate it a bit. You can change the axis here. That looks good. That looks very good. I like it. Let me see here on top if I can add something. You can also sample colors. So I can sample this gray here, and I can add this gray on top. So kind of make it like a dusty kind of look. Grungy, dusty kind of look, which is pretty cool. I'm going to leave that actually. Really nice, really nice. And I'm going to sample this black again and add it on the bottom. Very nice. And let me see if I can rotate this brush too. Oh, that's a weird one. Okay, lower the size a bit and let's check it out. That's cool. That's really cool. I kind of like this side more though. Just like that. Very nice. Let me see here. Okay, so once you got all the splashes done there, basically just make a new layer on top and put this on color dodge and select a soft brush. I don't know, let me see here. Soft brush. There we go. Hardness 0, size big enough for your canvas. So it should be about this size here. So we can put the green that we're going to sample from the background. So hold Alt and click on the green that's in the background right here and put it on color dodge, and click a couple of times over there on color dodge. 2, 3, 4. Opacity of my brush right now is 20%. If you put it at 100, it's going to be more drastic. I kind of like that more, so let's click right over there. Okay, so the eyes here, they're glowing, so it has to have reflections on the glasses too. So the next thing, you know, to keep in mind is reflections. If you wear glasses, there's going to be some neon green on the glasses. So make a new layer, put it on color dodge, and what you want to do now is select a small brush size. So just check it here, look at it here, and kind of on color dodge, just put it around the glasses just like that. So we kind of get that neon glow. There we go. Not too much though. I'm using my mouse right now, but you should use a tablet when doing this. And just lower the opacity a bit. There we go. And put this, add a filter to it, filter blur, Gaussian blur, so we get some blur over there. Just a tiny blur, 0.5 pixels. And now we're going to make a new layer. I'm going to call this color dodge 2. There we go. Color dodge face and glasses. All right. And for the face one, simply grab a big brush, big color brush, just like that. And press 1 on your keyboard so the opacity switches to 10% here. And just slightly tap on where the eyes are, under the eyes, so we can get that green tone coming from the neon. And now make the brush even smaller and tap on the nose so we can get that reflection, you know, on the nose, just like that. So we get the color coming, the light coming from the eyes on his face, which is what we want, because we want that hitting on him. Now the last step, this is finished basically, but there's a last step which you can do, which I always do. You can add effects from here, so curves, exposure, brightness, but what I like to do is make a new layer on top of everything, go to image and then apply image, and this is going to put my entire piece on one layer. And now I'm going to go to filter and then go to camera raw filter. If you don't have this in Photoshop, you have this in Lightroom. So Adobe Lightroom has this. It's basically Adobe Lightroom inside of Photoshop right now, this camera raw filter. But use Lightroom if you don't have it in Photoshop. So camera raw filter, and basically this contains everything, every single tool, every single adjustment tool that's in Photoshop for photo editing. So exposure, I can play around with the exposure. I can make it darker, lighter. I can press the contrast, just pump it up. Highlights, you know, just make the lights stand out. I'm not gonna do that now because I'm gonna do it with another thing. Pump up the clarity a bit, the vibrance. There we go. So we have more color inside. The temperature, lower the temperature to the left side. There we go. So we got the blues here and the greens in the background. Now add some bit of sharpening, not really necessary, a bit of grain, just a tiny bit of grain. And now go to HSL, and this is hue, saturation, luminance. You can change the hue here of the greens. You can make it more yellow, as you can see here. I'm gonna change it to a bit more yellowish. The blues, the aquas here, you can make them more intense. I really like this one here, so the guy stands out more. And the blues, I'm gonna also pump it up just a little bit. No, pump it down actually. And I'm going to go to saturation, and I'm going to increase the greens a bit so we have more saturation. So we got the poison kind of look. The blues here, you can also increase the aquas. Let me see here, the blues, just gonna increase them a bit. And let me see what other things we can do here. What I really like to do is, let me see if I can find it. where is it? Okay, lens correction. So I go to manual, and I like to add a bit of distortion. And this is going to stretch your image a bit, but it doesn't matter because it's going to look good. And now the scale, I'm going to pump it up 10, maybe, let me see here. Okay, about 17. And you can also add vignetting if you want to. Vignette, it's in effects, I think. Yeah, post crop vignetting. I'm going to add a bit some more darks here and press OK. And check that out before and after. So we got blue tones on the guy. We got green tones in the background, this demonic aura just getting at him, and he looks really badass if you ask me. And yeah, do this with pictures of your friends, do this with pictures of yourself, of whoever you want to. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below, and make sure to check out my Instagram in the description. And yeah, you know, just follow me. I give some sneak peeks into future tutorials there and post mostly art, so don't worry about it. So follow me on Instagram. The link is in the description. And yeah, that's about it. Cheers, guys. Happy Halloween.